The news starts now. Territorial Administration Minister Paul Athanganji has sent strong warning signals to Cameroonians, urging them to stay away from men in uniform. The warning was dished out in a joint press conference in Yaoundé today by the Delegate General for National Security Martin Bangangale and Minat Balls. The recent upsurge in the rate of assaults on men in uniform pushed the Interior Minister to convene the said press conference. Meanwhile, regional governors also had talks with civil society actors earlier today on the said issue. In some of the videos portraying acts of assault on men in uniform, civilians could be seen exchanging blows with officers of the law. Now take a listen to Territorial Administration Minister Paul Athanganji in the following excerpt selected for us by Faith Tata.
For quite some time now, the public in general and administrative authorities in particular have been decrying violence, sometimes physical, against police officers exercising their duties all over the national territory. This irresponsible behavior towards the police is unacceptable. It should be understood that the police is at the service of the population, and more specifically at the service of each and everyone. Under the very esteemed guidance of the head of state, His Excellency President Paul Biya, they allied the police work relentlessly to ensure the security of persons and their property. In the event of any disagreement between a police officer and an individual, the complaint should be addressed to the police hierarchy. When the accusations against a police officer are founded, only the police hierarchy is empowered to apply sanctions against defaulting officers in accordance with internal regulations of the corps and in line with the laws in force. Therefore, no citizen or no person, regardless of their social status, for whatsoever reason, has the right to assault a police officer on duty. That could be considered as jungle justice, which we all know has no place in Cameroon.
Territorial Administration Boss Paul Athanganji reacting following assault on police officers in the country. Now, some lawyers of some 5 young men arbitrarily arrested on September 18, 2020, met at the Stand-Up for Cameroon headquarters in Bali, Douala, demanding for their release. The lawyers urged the judge handling their case to respect presumption of innocence and render a fair judgment. Student journalist and internship Tamo Manuela attended the event and compiled the following report.
C'est moi qui est ton père, c'est moi qui est ton Dieu. Dis-moi ce que vous aviez fait là-bas avant qu'on vous amène ici.
These are the cries of heartbroken mothers of 2 out of 5 young men, members of Stand Up for Cameroon, who were unlawfully arrested on September 18, 2020, after attending a meeting at their headquarters in Bali, Douala. These young citizens, Musa Bello, Etienne Sama, Tele Membu, Mira Angong, Nana Collins, who have spent over a year in prison, were reportedly denied access to their lawyers, violated, brutalized and kept in unclean cells with poor health conditions, according to one of the defense lawyers.
Ces enfants ont été arrêtés irrégulièrement et ils sont retenus irrégulièrement. Ça, c'est des cafards, mais ils subissent les mêmes irrégularités, les mêmes traitements néfastes que la plupart de nos prisonniers.
The lawyers for Stand Up for Cameroon also decried the inhumane treatment of the detainees, such as paying 100 francs before using the toilet.
Dès l'entrée en prison, vous êtes victime de la corruption. Parce que la loi voudrait qu'on vous fouille pour être sûr de ce que vous ne détenez pas une arme ou quelque chose. Le gardien qui vous fouille, vous dépouille. Il finit par prendre votre argent. Je le dis parce que j'ai eu à intervenir à arracher des mains d'un gardien de prison la somme d'argent qui était détenue par une de mes clientes. Quand vous entrez en prison, tant pis pour vous si vous êtes pauvre, vous allez payer le martyre de l'enfer à la prison.
It is within this backdrop that Stand Up for Cameroon organized a press conference today to create awareness concerning the detainees. They urge the judges handling the case file to respect presumption of innocence and render fair justice.
We should see justice being meted on these people rather than using the justice system to torture people and keep them in that kind of state. We are in a state of law. Justice should be rendered properly. Justice should not be selected. We should respect all the principles that guide a fair hearing. We should make sure that these people are given the opportunity to defend themselves, because they are presumed innocent until they are proven guilty.
The mothers of the young detainees are devastated and can only rely now on lawyers of Stand Up for Cameroon for a fair justice to be delivered and eventually the release of their children.
The governor of the Far North region, Mijiyawa Bakari, has received keys of 11 classrooms constructed by UNICEF and donated to government school Manawachi, a locality in Mayasava, Far North region of Cameroon. The donation will solve the problem of inadequate infrastructure, as students, journalists, and internship Eyong Tennyson tells us.
The United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund has constructed and equipped 11 classrooms, administrative blocks, modern toilets, and recreational facilities in government school Manawachi, far north of the country. The keys of the facilities were handed to the governor of the Far North region, Mijiyawa Bakari. UNICEF joins in collaboration in boosting the educational sector in the region affected by the activities of the jihadis that have caused the destruction of some social amenities and the displacement of some persons. The locality of Manawachi, located in the Mayo-Sava division in the Lake Chad Basin, has experienced the enrollment of 1,006 pupils due to the influx of these internally displaced persons into the locality. This donation by UNICEF is to salvage the infrastructural problem which the locality is currently facing. At the public ceremony that saw the gifts handed down, the education specialist at the UNICEF Bureau in Marwa, Roger Bugazi, outlines UNICEF's mainstream project to construct 91 classrooms and offices in areas hit by the Boko Haram activities. In addition, the training of some teachers. The governor of the Far North region marks the importance of the educational system being boosted.
It's very important to boost our education, and we do think that the result would be improved in upcoming days.
According to reports, the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund has equally paid the fees of some underprivileged children to ensure their fundamental right to education.
The people of Pinyon in Santa subdivision, northwest region of Cameroon, have decried the poor state of roads in that locality. They say bad roads have slowed down economic activities in their community and neighboring areas. Eileen Sama looked into the plight of the Pinyon people and compiled the following report.
Movement in some parts of the northwest region has now become a nightmare for inhabitants, especially with the heavy rains and huge floods. The people of Pinyon in Santa subdivision say movement from Downer Pinyon to Santa during the rainy season is extremely difficult. A majority of vehicle owners get stuck along the main stretch, risk getting their vehicles destroyed when they insist on passing through, or worst of all, getting involved in an accident. Most times, only motorbikes can be used to transport goods, and people, as farmers and business people, struggle to get their produce to markets in other towns and villages. It is worth mentioning that with the roads in Bali being blocked due to the turnout of events relating to the Anglophone crisis, most of the cars from Batibo now use the Pinyon stretch to get to Santa before entering Bamenda, chief town of the northwest region, which is usually more expensive. The locals have now called on the authorities in Cameroon to come to their aid and rehabilitate the deplorable nature of the roads in order to boost economic activities and projects in conformity with the saying that goes, where there is a road, development follows.
In a related story, the population of Fundongboyo Division, Northwest region of Cameroon have expressed disgruntlement towards contractors charged with executing major development projects. They are calling on officials to look in their plight, as student journalist and internship Dile Emmanuel tells us.
It's been 4 years since the start of the socio-political crisis in the Northwest and Southwest region. This has led to the delay of developmental projects in the two English-speaking regions of the country. This is not the case for Fundong, located in the Boyo division, as their projects are being delayed not because of the crisis, but because of the irresponsible contractors who are still delaying in the execution of this major developmental project. In a meeting which was held yesterday, September 9, officials of the Fundong Council made it known there is a problem with the execution of projects in the Fundong municipality, and they blame the contractors because they believe these contractors do not prioritize their project.
The hitches are not us. The hitches are not payments. The hitches are those who won the contracts, and we pray that they will help us to overcome these hitches.
In this line, the mayor thinks that if the contractors prioritize their work, the construction of the market, the construction of the public tap, there will be complete execution of the project.
The contractor building the sheds in the market since 2017, who has taken his job a little bit seriously now, should continue so that before the Christmas season, we should be using those stores. We are also sure that...
Not to forget the fact that the mayor of Fundong Council also organized a football tournament.
Now 21 fallen soldiers have been paid last respect at the Douala Naval Base. The solemn ceremony was led by Governor of the Littoral Region, Samuel Ivaha Diodone, who enjoined law enforcement officials to stay true to their profession. Nolinga has details.
Flags flown and handled by two crafted soldiers in honor of some 21 fallen soldiers of the Cameroonian Navy, with Samuel Ivaha Diboa, Governor of the Littoral Region, spearheading the laying down of wreath here at the Douala Naval Base. Some of the soldiers, as young as 24 years old, at the time of their death on the battlefield, have had their names engraved in gold letters on the front wall of this monument. While acknowledging the bravery of the fallen soldiers who were on a peaceful restoration mission either in the Central African Republic or at the front line against the Boko Haram in the Far North region, or better still, at the battlefield against the pro-independence fighters in the two Anglophone regions, the governor, together with all the comrades in arms, gave their last honors in style and in-depth respect. As the monument seeks to immortalize the memories of the brilliant 21 soldiers who died at the battlefield, the common wish of every Cameroonian remains the restoration of peace in the country.
The maiden edition of the Tico Cultural and Sports Festival witnessed a huge success as the population turned out massively to witness the event. The event also saw the distribution of didactic kits to some school-going children in that community. Kuma Onori files and reports from the Southwest region.
The population of Tico subdivision came out in their numbers to celebrate the first edition of the Tico Cultural and Sports Festival, which took place under the theme My Culture, My Identity. Welcoming the population, the mayor of Tico Municipality thanked the population for answering present despite a very short notice to celebrate culture, which is their heritage. He called on the population to value and promote peace in their various communities, as it is a veritable tool for development.
These activities today is for the cosmopolitan populace of the Tico Municipality. Your presence all here today in your various traditional regalia is a vivid manifestation of the peaceful coexistence of all our cultures enshrined in the Tico municipality.
The divisional officer for Tico subdivision thanked the population for their massive turnout and called on them to rally behind the mayor and his team to bring meaningful development in Tico subdivision. Diokawa Armstrong saluted the mayor for his hard work, which earned him a meritorious decoration of the Knight of the Cameroon Order of Merit.
President of the Republic, and by virtue of the powers conferred on us, we now make you Knight in the Cameroon Order of Merit.
This triple event coincided with back-to-school assistance to meritorious people and students carefully selected from 25 schools in Tico municipality, as well as the handing over of financial assistance to over 200 youths who took part in the Youth Holiday Employment Scheme.
This maiden edition of our cultural jamboree coincides with our back-to-school assistance to meritorious people within our municipality.
The event, which started with the caravan parade from Tico roundabout to the Tico Council premise, equally witnessed activities such as traditional fashion parade, traditional wrestling, eating competition, as well as cultural manifestations from a cross-section of traditional dance groups. The maiden edition of the Tico Cultural and Sports Jamboree could not have been a success without a benediction from traditional rulers of the Tico Subdivisional Chiefs Conference, who were present to pour libation to appease the ancestors of the land. Mayor Mesoso Peter III promised for an upgraded edition of the festival come next year.
Some cocoa farmers under the UT's certification process of agro-produce management services have received bonuses for supplying certified cocoa beans for the 2020-2021 cocoa season. Kuma Honore once more.
Close to 700 million francs CFA have been paid to farmers for supplying about 14,000 tons of certified cocoa beans to agro-produce management services during the 2020-2021 cocoa season. This year's payment, like every other year, is taking place after the close of the 2020-2021 cocoa season. The exercise, which began on the 25th of August, saw the disbursement of bonuses to farmers to over 200 localities in the southwest, west, and center regions. The bonuses, otherwise known as premium, is an additional amount that cocoa farmers receive over the normal market price after a successful certification year.
This is how we help our farmers to develop from their ideas and for them to see their farms not like just slavery, but to see their farms as a business. So in actual sense, we are not helping them with the premium because premium is not the goal of the certification program that we are orienting our farmers. The goal is increase of yield, which they can achieve after performing the trainings we have given to them. Premium is just a motivational tool to appreciate the good works of what our farmers have been doing through the trainings we carry on with them.
It is a token from consumers through chocolate companies to appreciate farmers for their cocoa quality.
This will help me to buy some chemicals and continue to spray my farm and also to enable me pay my children's school fees. I pray the company should continue to do this.
This is the 9th time Agro-Produce Management Services is paying deserving bonuses to its cocoa farmers after a successful UTS RA certification cycle. The beneficiaries took part in the UTS RA certification trainings, implemented the required norms, were inspected by AMS together with an independent third-party organization and considered successful. The management is cognizant of the farmers' role in the success of the certification process and sends across a strong message of gratitude to all partners.
The Cameroon team, which we all call a family in Group Ecom Tiobroma, they are very, very satisfied and happy to have them as their partners. And we also want to thank them for standing by us in difficult moments like when we had the crisis in the English region, We thank them for standing by us like in the time of COVID, which is breaking the whole world and businesses are breaking down, but yet they are still provenly attract good service.
AMS is a sustainable cocoa business company that accompanies farmers through certification, cocoa purchase, and export of cocoa beans. The Tico-based company is a subsidiary of the Dutch giant cocoa trader Eco to Broma. Over the years, AMS has grown from 400 farmers in 2011 to 13,000 farmers in 2020, paid over 3 billion francs CFA as bonuses to farmers, exported 85,000 tons of certified cocoa beans, trained 14,000 cocoa farmers on good agricultural, social, and environmental practices, distributed over 1 million free cocoa seedlings, provided chemicals worth billions of francs CFA to farmers, donated boreholes and benches to communities and schools, constructed many farmers' development centers, and provided employment to hundreds of Cameroonians.
September 9 is International Day to Protect Education from Attack, commemorating the day in Menchum Division, Northwest Region of Cameroon. The senior divisional officer, alongside municipal authorities, visited some schools in that division to ensure pupils and students are studying in conducive environment. Charles Kebwa has details in the following report.
This year's edition of the International Day to Protect Education from Attack, September 9, falling at the first week of the new school year in the country, in Wom Divisional Headquarters of Menchum Division, Menchum SDO Abdullahi Aliu, accompanied by the Mayor of Wom Council, Drambong Anthony, taught schools in the municipality where they witnessed a remarkable increase this year of pupils and students, most especially the private schools, as responsibility to protect and ensure pupils and students in the municipality and division learn in conducive facilities, both emphasized with a clear message that schools are places of protection and safety. Satisfied with the remarkable school doors opened this year, 2021-2022 academic year in the Wom municipality, Mayor Drambong Anthony, who doubles as the first Vice National President of the UCC, said the future of the Wom municipality greatly depends on education.
I think I'm very impressed. I'm very happy today. We know that without education, we cannot talk of the future. The future of this municipality depends on education, and today I'm very satisfied. The number of pupils and students I've met in schools, we have gone around most of the schools and we have seen most of the pupils and students are in school.
Education stakeholders in the Northwest and divisions have been driving home the point that the responsibility to protect schools, attending children and facilities rests on everyone. Many hold to the opinion that only change of mentality can revive and regain education sector of the region. As anxiety reached fever pitch, with schools reopening their doors, effectively parents and members of the public must be assured of the security and safety of learners and teachers, for there is an overriding need for a full-blown security.
Today is commemorated Worldwide as Suicide Prevention Day, aimed at raising awareness about suicide prevention and breaking stigma. Bokengu Worthy tells us more.
Suicide and suicidal thoughts are becoming very common, as every 40 seconds, someone ends their life worldwide.
Today is World Suicide Prevention Day 2021, and it goes with the theme, Creating Hope Through Action. Now, I think this is very timely, especially the theme is very timely because we've had a lot of people committing suicide in Cameroon, and the greater population is from the youths. Now you realize that when these people commit suicide and it's being posted on the media, instead of people to feel sorry about the whole situation, instead we tend to bash them. Now, this thing is to make us understand that suicide is not a one-man thing. It has to do with all of us.
With more than 75% suicide cases recorded yearly as estimated by the World Health Organization, this year's theme for World Suicide Prevention Day aims to promote the global commitment to suicide prevention.
Making human beings to feel as though they are not worthy, they are not supposed to even live in the same world with you. Automatically, that's telling this person that you know what, just die. In order to end all of this, just kill yourself. Just die and go. You start having people feeling like they have no purpose on earth. Once you feel purposeless, automatically that's you feeling like you're meaningless. That's you feeling like your entire presence, it's always like an empty container. They feel worthless. If somebody could actually take advantage of them, it's because they are completely worthless. That's how we start feeling. And nobody has to feel that way.
With triggers such as physical disability, history of substance abuse, exposure to bullying, mental health condition, relationship problems, previous suicide attempts, and warning signs like isolation, hopelessness, low self-esteem, amongst others, the condition is highly preventable.
When people are having suicidal thoughts, it's not because they really want to die or they want to kill themselves. It's because they want change, actually. And now when they're unable to get this change, you realize that they intend now trying to kill themselves. Because if you can get the change you need, you having suicidal thoughts is really meaning you found yourself in an overwhelming situation. And that is just how our emotions are. They are so overwhelming that they make you understand that there's no way out of it. And once you cannot get the change you need, you try to kill yourself.
The mental health advocate and blogger reiterates on the fact that
for us to be able to prevent suicide, we need to work together. We need to be kind to people and we need to say kind words to people. Even after these people have left this suicidal state, it is very important that we follow up their treatment. You're following up them. Why? Because you're making them to understand that I was not there because you were going through this thing. I am there because I love you. That's what most people want. In fact, that's what we all want.
On World Suicide Prevention Day, everyone is encouraged to spread word regarding the warning sign and risk factor, bearing in mind that a tiny step taken in love and unity can make a big difference.
And the Board of Directors of the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea have begun meeting for their 6th Scientific Advisory Board meeting ahead of school resumption. Nolinga, they attended the session and brought back the following.
Of school resumptions here at the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea, the Board of Directors, alongside representatives of affiliated and partnering universities in and out of the country, have begun meeting during the 6th edition of the Scientific Board. Steve Cedric Jambu is the current president of the University Institute, who now gives a backdrop of this forum. This scientific board is a forum for reflection and evaluation of the university in the area of scientific politics. A greater part of this forum has dwelt on the research orientation given to teachers, and it's from this evaluation that we determine the best teachers, and this is what we do at the start of every academic year. The council, which is made up of 30 members, meets at least once a semester at the convocation of the president of the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea. Meanwhile, the University Council is also a sub of the Scientific Council, and as an organ of the university, its main function is to represent the interests of the university to the entire university community present here today. And as president of the Scientific Board, Professor Etoile Francis Xavier now comments on the 6th edition of this forum.
Our session was mainly based to deal with all academic matters because we make a roundup of the past academic year and we laid down some perspective for the new coming academic year.
But what is expected of the teachers and partnering universities after this session?
One of the most important points was to deal with the career of teachers. In such a way that they should be able to carry out research exactly likewise their colleagues of state universities.
And now some modalities have been put in place by the president of the University Institute.
The head of UUG has put on the ground incentive measures to help teachers, lecturers to carry out research.
Created since 1993, the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea is a group of 3 schools of higher learning institutions located in the same campus at the Bassa neighborhood in Douala. IUG is specialized in the fields of commerce and management, communication and information, industry, new technologies, and paramedical sciences. With 28 years of outstanding performances, IUG stands out as one of the most prestigious private higher learning institutions in Cameroon.
At IUG, we train leaders since 1993.
The link on this report concludes today's edition of Prime News. My name is Fon Quinter. Prime comes up next with Kum Leonard and his team. Have a great weekend. Good night.